This is a Jmix exclusive.
A big question that Derek Esquivel has been asking, welcome to the show, Derek, is DPG didn't go to Vegas, but Nate Dogg was there. Do you, RJ, do you feel like Nate Dogg was involved with that, or do you wonder why Nate Dogg was there? Have any thoughts?
Well, Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg's an interesting subject for me. Why was Nate Dogg in Vegas? DPG was not in Vegas. You know, like we're told, they were told, you know, don't go to Vegas. They're going to get her fuck it up. Don't go to Vegas. There was certainly a move to be there. Nate Dogg had a pretty good relationship with Tupac. I think that they got along. But I do think that, you know, everybody's their own man. And, you know, Nate was certainly, you know, relative and friends with Snoop, and, you know, certainly had many of the same interests. But for every person you're going to tell not to do something, there's going to be people that do it anyway. I don't think there's anything insidious by that. I just think that he'd given an admonition, Snoop had given an admonition that he wasn't going to go to Vegas, and other people shouldn't go to Vegas either. I don't know that there's anything more deeper than that. Well,
I had talked to several people about Nate Dogg, and everything that I've gained from my knowledge on Nate Dogg is Nate Dogg was a standalone guy. Yep. Nate Dogg was about making money. You know, the most important thing to Nate Dogg was making money, and he didn't play that color banging shit. Nate Dogg went to where the money was. Now, there was a grudge with DPG camp, but you got to keep in mind, and I'm just piggybacking off what RJ said, Nate Dogg was his own man. He didn't play follow the leader, and he didn't call anybody big homie. This guy was a Marine, and he took care of his own business. And before I stop, thank you, Joe Blow, for the super chat. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the live stream, and we appreciate everything that you do, man. Bring some friends the next time.
Yeah, you know what, and Joe Blow, thank you. Yeah, you know, he pointed out a really good point. You know, Nate Dogg and Little Half Dead are first cousins. So that makes it a very interesting concept, because when you go out there and you say, okay, well, if they're first cousins and maybe they got along real well, maybe that kind of proves that Little Half Dead might have been in Vegas. Where there's smoke, there's fire. If Nate Dogg's there, if they're that close, maybe the reason Nate Dogg went to Vegas was because Little Half Dead was in Vegas. It's interesting. Great point, Joe Blow. Good observation. Makes me think. That's what I love about this. Let's see, what else have we got?
Hey, RJ, were you surprised to see that your movie was featured in Rolling Stone and it's trending now? It went viral yesterday.
Well, I'm thankful for it, but you know, I got spoiled early when the first assassination movie came out. Rolling Stone magazine did an interview with me. It's still out there, question and answer with R.J. Bond, when Tupac Assassination 1 came out. So, you know, it's like I can always point to that and say, hey, R.J. Bond in Rolling Stone magazine, there I am, do, you know. So that's my personal ego boost right there. But no, I'm always happy for when Rolling Stone or any other large magazine, World Star Hip Hop, picked it up. There were a lot of people that picked up the story, and I was glad to see that they did. You know, so I'm thankful for that. I think they did us a fair shake. They didn't make fun of us until he said at the end he didn't believe it, but that's okay. I don't expect everybody to believe what we have to say. That's why we have to prove what we have to say. I don't think that anybody who doesn't believe what we have to say are a bunch of idiots, but I think that it's our job to present our case and to prove it. And there's still going to be people that are Terrell said, 313, you know, some people just like to be lied to. Well, we're not going to lie to you, but there's some people that just aren't going to believe the truth no matter what. So in terms of, Rolling Stone, I'm glad they did us a good service. They did something they didn't do with anybody else, and they actually gave that there was a new documentary that came out that espoused this theory. I thought that was great. Good play. Never hurts. Hopefully, maybe a couple of people picked up the DVD. By the way, plug, if you want to see the movie Battle for Compton, it's on YouTube and it's free. So there's no reason not to go and watch it. And there's no reason to watch so if you go come and join the chat. Come with us and be part of the chat. Watch the movie. It's free. And if you liked it, watch it again. It doesn't hurt anybody for you to watch a movie 5 times, and you might learn something new the second time you watch it.
Amen. And it's got an overwhelmingly pretty damn good response. There's a lot of positive comments on there, and I thank everybody that's been sharing it, checking it out. And it kind of defeats the narrative. It kind of crushes that narrative that, it's all about the money. When the movie first came out, it was live streamed. That is the live stream, by the way. It was live streamed for free. It's not about making the quick buck. It's about solving a murder. And I think that RJ needs to be commended, as well as Russell Poole and Frank Alexander. These people, and including RJ, have spent the last 10 years trying to get this information out.
Yep. It says RJ and Jmix. Was anybody that had been interviewed that ever knew Tupac ever acknowledged that they knew that Tupac knew him? Did Tupac ever diss him on any track or any recording ever? Here's the thing about that, and this is the part that's kind of sad. We did all these interviews with a lot of people, and we did a majority of the interview with Tupac's closest family and friends several years prior to the knowledge or the discovery about Little Half Dead and the Pattons. So, and unfortunately, a lot of people that you interview because of mutual contacts, mutual acquaintances, the people that were friends of Frank. I mean, I still have a relationship with several of them, but it's not near as close as it was before, where I can just pick up the phone and call them and talk to them and say, hey, oh, by the way, did you ever hear this? So I wish we would have had that opportunity, but it's kind of like two ships that pass in the night. Here's the interview that happened, and then here's this new information. And it's kind of a matter of resource and bandwidth to go back and say whether or not they did or didn't know about it. I mean, we have, and Jesse can address this better than I can. I mean, we do have people that have tied them together into the same sentence. But, by the same token, there's not a lot of immediate proof out there, which is one thing that we have to overcome. It's one thing that we keep moving and searching towards, was to say that there were people that knew both of them and that they ran in the same circles. I mean, we know they did because of Snoop. We know that he was at Death Row Records. Little Half Dead was with Death Row Records. That got moved to Priority Records. We know that he was around there when Pac was around there. And I find it kind of difficult to believe that with Nate Dogg or anybody else in the Dogg Pound, that Tupac didn't interact with them to some degree or another. So it's just a matter of finding the right people that were there at a time when they were interacting with each other to get that confirmation. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because we really hadn't really asked that question. And maybe we should start asking more.
And I want to say that, I've been told by people that I trust that the worst kind of slight that you can do to somebody is a personal slight. If you insult somebody outright, you can apologize and say, I'm sorry. But a personal slight, that gets somebody to where they're never going to forgive you. Now, I think maybe Tupac was just so big and enjoying his success that he wasn't thinking about a small personal slight of basically a no-name rapper at the time. All that matters and all that is important in this scenario is how mad and how upset was Little Half Dead. And he was, even as of a few years ago, running around telling, Turdur from the French Dogg Pound that he wrote Brenda's Got a Baby. So we do have that to verify.
Now, Mark Apperson, this is critical. He says, wait, who thinks someone wrote Brenda's Got a Baby besides Tupac? That's insane. Okay, yes, but I don't want to get you caught up in this because we go over this a lot. Okay, here's the deal. In the confession letter, it states that Little Half Dead ran around telling people that he wrote Brenda's Got a Baby, okay, and that he was upset that he gave Tupac a demo that had something that he thought was Brenda's Got a Baby, and Tupac put out Brenda's Got a Baby, and he said that Tupac stole his song. Okay, we're not saying that Brenda's Got a Baby was Little Half Dead's song. We're not saying that Tupac didn't write Brenda's Got a Baby. In fact, there's a lot of people that were around at the time he was actually sitting there writing out all the lyrics that he wrote, that he didn't write Brenda's Got a Baby. So that's not what we're saying. We're saying that the confession letter says that Little Half Dead was running around making the claim, as many people do when a popular song comes out, that they actually wrote it and that the song was stolen from them. If I had a dime for every single time that happened, I'd be a millionaire.
And just like RJ said, it doesn't matter if that actually happened. All it matters is either Half Dead said it happened or he thought it happened. And a good point to make is the letter starts out and says that there was a problem with demo stealing. which anybody familiar with the record industry does understand that does happen. Even the Dogg Pound was biting stuff from Tupac's Interscope record while he was in jail. Natasha Walker goes into detail about it. Check it out on my channel. It's very insightful. But this was going on both sides of the fence. And I personally believe that Half Dead might have had a concept like that and heard Brenda's Got a Baby and said, oh, he stole it. Doesn't mean Tupac did. But all that matters, like I said before, is that Half Dead thought he did.
He actually had a song called Rhonda's Got a Baby. And he thought that that was, you know, maybe that was what it was.
And also, Half Dead's not the only one to accuse Tupac of doing that. There was another guy, I believe it was Kill Kill, like Realize said. He wrote a song called Mama Dear. And it was very, very, very similar to Dear Mama. And I think also there was a diss track even recorded against Tupac while he was alive. If you're asking if Little Half Dead is in jail now, Little Half Dead is DJing. He put out his album and he does club appearances. He DJs.
Yeah, he's DJing down in Long Beach. Go see him. Check him out. Maybe we'll post his times and places where he's going to be, so that our fans can go and actually ask him the questions about it. Maybe they'll go out and give him a question or two. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah, I heard that he DJs under the name Tupac Killer. I don't know if that's true.
This is a Jmix exclusive.
What up, shut up?